What's good, everybody? It's Powerhouse, and today, guys, I'm coming to you with a brand new video. This time, guys, it's going to be a Crystron video. This deck is absolutely insane post-suda, and I can't wait to show you guys the combos. And as always, guys, if you guys like the video, go and leave a like, comment what you guys want to see next, and of course, subscribe if you have not already. Like I said, guys, 2025 is our year. And as always, guys, check out all the links down below, especially my Twitch, guys. I plan on streaming very consistently, very soon, so stay tuned for that. And without further ado, guys, let's get right into the video. Alright, guys, so now we are getting into the combo portion of the video, and then I will have the deck file at the end, so stay tuned for that, of course, guys. But starting off with the video, it is going to be with the new card, Crystron Inclusion. Now, this card says this: when this card is activated, you can add one Crystron card from your deck to your hand, except itself, of course. The first time each of your Crystron monsters would be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not destroyed, so a cute little blanket protection. Then you can banish the card from your graveyard, target one Crystron monster in your graveyard, and special summon it. So again, guys, we will start off by activating Inclusion. Inclusion says on activation, you can add a Crystron card, so this will go ahead and add us our Sulfadhole. Now, this is a new card, so this card kind of reminds me of the Memento Zebra, if you guys remember that. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, target one Crystron card you control and destroy it. And if you do, special summon this card, and then you're locked into summoning monsters that aren't machines, so you can only summon machine monsters from the extra deck. Then if this card is normal or special summon, send up to 2 Crystron cards with different names from your deck to the graveyard. Only use each effect and only once per turn. So from here, we will use Sulfadhole. I don't know what these names are. Sulfadhole effect, target the Inclusion, summon himself out. Then on a separate chain, he will trigger to dump 2 Crystron cards with different names. This will send out our Sulfadhole and our Tistvern. Okay, these names are crazy, but the purple one and the yellow one, right? Cool. So the purple one's pretty good because you can banish and then add a Crystron card from your deck. And then the yellow one is you banish it. No, wait, is it? Oh yeah, you discard a card, and then summon itself out, and then pop a card on the field. It's kind of like a scrap card in a sense. From here, we will go ahead and we can proceed to activate our purple one. So this turn, go ahead and add us our Smiger. Cool. And then we can go ahead and use here. So this will use our Sulfadhole. This card will go ahead and discard, summon, and then pop a card, so you can pop itself, of course. Luckily, this is not a one effect. It's only if, right? So then, cool. Separate chain, this card says this: if this card on the field is destroyed by a card effect, you can special summon one Crystron monster from your deck in defense position. So that will mean that on a separate chain, it will trigger to summon out our Crystron Tristalos, Kitkalos, Thestalos, whatever you guys want to call it. This card's pretty good. When your opponent activates a card or effect, summon one Crystron monster from your deck, then synchro summon. Okay, cool. If you control a synchro monster or whatever, you can banish a card from graveyard, pop a synchro monster, and if you do, summon 2 Crystron monsters from your deck. So that's pretty good. From here, guys, we can go ahead and now we can proceed to use our Smiger. Smiger's effect is banish to add a Crystron spell trap card from your deck to your hand. So it's really good in that regard as well. Smiger is going to be a really important card in this deck. So you go here, banish Smiger to add us our Crystron cluster. I'll explain this card a little bit later on because it's not necessary right now. From here, guys, we can go ahead and take our 2 and our 5, synchro into the new card, I don't know, man. Like these names are crazy, but this card says this: if this card is synchro summoned, you can add one Crystron card from your graveyard or banishment to your hand. If this card is synchro summoned and it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Crystron monster from your graveyard or banishment. So here on summon, we will go ahead and add back the Smiger, which is really good. Then here we can go ahead and proceed to activate Tristalos. Remember what I said? You banish it to pop a synchro monster and then summon 2 Crystron monsters from your deck. So from here, we summon out our Citri and we summon out our Sulfadhole, so a second copy. Then on a separate chain, this will trigger our Alaskeletus. Man, these names are terrible. Use this effect. This effect on destruction can summon out one from graveyard or banish, summon out our Kitkalos, Tristalos, whatever. And then here we can banish Inclusion. Inclusion says you can banish and then summon one Crystron monster in your graveyard. So from here we banish, summon out the Sulfadhole, and then from here, guys, we can go ahead and proceed to overlay into our Cyber Dragon Nova and then into our Cyber Dragon Infinity. Cool. From here, guys, what we can do is we can go ahead and set the cluster and we can go ahead and proceed to pass our turn. So you're probably like, okay, this isn't really much. You have like 2 random monsters and an Infinity, but Citrus has the effect where during your opponent's main phase or battle phase, target one non-tuner monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Its effects are negated, and if you do, synchro summon machine type monsters using only that monster and this card. So this can trigger to summon out this or this, so you can go into a 9 or we can go into a 7. From here, this card also has the same effect where it summons one from the deck, and you guys will see exactly what I'm talking about later on. From here, we can go ahead and use Citri. Citri's effect will go ahead and summon out our Sulfadhole, and then immediately synchro summon, so we go into a Dawn Dragster, which is a level 7. Cool. From here, we can do is, like, let's say we Dawn Dragster negate, now Dawn Dragster is now a level 5 monster. We can use Tristalos to immediately special summon one from our deck, and then we can go ahead and synchro. So we summon out another Citri. Then you have a 2/2 and a 5, that's a 9. So we can use this effect to go ahead and immediately turbo synchro away into our this guy, Query Condrax, whatever, Gondrax, I don't know. But this guy's really good because he says, if this card synchro summon target monsters your opponent controls or in their graveyard up to the number of synchro materials used for the synchro, and then banish them. So we get a banish 3, right, which is really nasty. If the synchro summon card is destroyed, target 1 banish monster, except this card, and special summon it to your field. But the main reason is like we synchro into a banish 3 after we get a spell trap negate, and then we still have a Sabdrag Infinity negate, and we also still have the cluster. Cluster is really good. Crystron cards you control cannot be banished by your opponent's card effects. I don't really know when that's going to activate, but you can target 1 face-up card on the field, or 2 if you control a Crystron synchro monster, okay? Shuffle 1 Crystron card from your graveyard or banishment into the deck, except cluster, and if you do, destroy the targeted card. So it's very similar to Chuchi. A lot of people compare it to the Virtual World deck because it's kind of like non-stop combos. You also have a level 9 synchro that's problematic, plus the trap card. This trap card is really good. More times than not, you will always have a Crystron synchro monster as well. So you're always going to be popping 2 cards and shuffling back your resources. So it doesn't really matter if you play one of this or one of this and things of that nature. But that's kind of it for the first combo, guys. Like I said before, just a really basic combo. Now let's go on to the second combo. Alright guys, now we're getting on to the second combo. Now this is going to be Crystron Smiger. Now again, this combo gets a lot better post-suited, and you guys will see exactly what I'm talking about. So from here we can go ahead and we can normal Smiger, and then we can link Smiger away into the brand new Clockwork Knight. So 1 non-link monster with 1000 or less original attack. Just remember that because like Smiger basically hits the cutoff. There are a couple cards like in the main deck that like don't hit it, so it's just one thing to note. From here we link into Clockwork Knight. We don't really care about this other effect. If this card link summon, send 1 face-up continuous spell to your graveyard, add 1 clock. Like we don't play that. Some people do. We don't play it. It's kind of like a pseudo floodgate, I guess. You can target 1 machine monster with 1000 or less in your graveyard, tribute 1 other machine monster, and if you do, special summon the targeted monster in defense position. It's pretty unique. The main thing is just to get Smiger in the grave. From here we can go ahead and banish Smiger to go ahead and add us our Crystron spell trap card. This will get us our inclusion, and most times, like, what's going on, I don't know, but these are like the basic lines, right? So we go inclusion, then we get Sulfadhole effect, target inclusion, summon himself out, uses his effect to pop 2. So again, or not pop 2, sorry, we send 2. It's more times than not, it's always going to be these 2 here. There's like a specific combo where like you don't dump it because you can dump any 2 cards, but you guys will see exactly what I'm talking about later on. So from here we dump the Thisvern, then we can go ahead and use Sulfefner, then this effect, go ahead and discard the Citri, summon itself out and pop itself out, and then from here this will trigger on a separate chain to summon out our Tristalos. So it's really good here. Like once we get to kind of these lines where it's like a 2 and a 5 and we have inclusion and grave and all these other cards, our play gets like very streamlined, whatever you guys want to say. It gets straightforward more or less. So from here Schedule this, go ahead and get the Smiger. From here we can use Tristalos, banish, pop the synchro monster, summon out the 2, which is the 2 and the 5 again. So we're gonna play multiple copies of this, and then from here we can go ahead and use separate chain to summon out Sulfadhole. Then from here we can go ahead and overlay into Nova, into Infinity, and then from here we can go ahead and use Infinity to take the Clockwork Knight. So just because we get like an extra negate, why not? And then we can go ahead and use inclusion effect, banish to summon out a Citri, and then we pass our turn. Then again, do the same thing, right? We have the Infinity negate, we also have the Citri, we also have the Citri to summon out here, so this can go into like a Dawn Dragster or whatever. Then we can also use Tristalos. Tristalos can summon anything, really. It doesn't need to wait on the Dragster. Usually what I've been seeing a lot of people do is like Tristalos summons another 5 monster here, and then the 5 will go into a second Dawn Dragster, so you just have like multiple Omni negates. Or you can do this where you just summon this card out and then you synchro completely away into a banished 3. So this kind of helps just like kind of out our opponent's board, and if we're afraid of board breakers, we can go into Dawn Dragster, or we can play around it where we get like the trap card instead. It doesn't really matter. It's just like one of those combo decks that's very fluid in kind of what it can choose, and doesn't really run out of resources, so it's pretty good in that regard. But that's it for the second combo, guys. Now let's go on to the third combo. Alright guys, now we're getting on to the third combo. This is the final combo, and then I have deck file. So again guys, make sure you stay tuned, and of course like, comment, and subscribe what you guys want to see next, and check me out on Twitch as well, guys. But this is going to be the Speedroid Terrortop combo. Honestly, I think like any deck that can play this card is crazy. But from here we go ahead, special out Terrortop. Terrortop's effect will go ahead and add us our Tacky Tomborg. From here we can special summon out the Tacky Tomborg, and then from here we can go ahead and link summon our monsters away into our Cherubini. Cherubini is really good in this regard because Cherubini can go ahead and dump the Smiger. And I'm sure you guys saw from the other line, this will trigger our Smiger, or not trigger, but on a separate chain we can manually banish Smiger. Get the inclusion, get the inclusion, get the Sulfadhole effect, pop the inclusion, summon himself out here, and then from here we can go ahead and we can dump the trap card, and we can dump the this like I was saying, like this is another line that we can choose to go if we don't want to always dump the Sulfefner. Like maybe people just think it's unoptimal or whatever, we can use this because Sulfadhole can send any 2 Crystron cards, right? So this adds us a Crystron monster or Crystron tuner or whatever, and then this goes ahead and adds us the trap card. From here we can go ahead and we can banish to summon out our Tristalos or search it because we have not normaled yet. From here, we can go ahead and proceed to normal Tristalos and then go ahead and synchro away into Skeletal, whatever. This card will go ahead and add us our trap card directly from our graveyard into our hand. And then we can banish our Tristalos, use it, pop the 2, get Sulfadhole, and get the Citri. From here, use that to summon out our Tristalos. Then use Inclusion to summon out the Sulfadhole, which is the other 5. From here, we overlay into Nova, overlay into the Infinity. And then from here, we can go ahead and use Infinity, take the Chervini, set the trap card, and then we go ahead and proceed to our opponent's turn, where, like I showcased in my previous combos 1 and 2, you summon out a monster from like here, and then this will go ahead and trigger to summon out another monster. Then you go down Dragster, then you reborn out, and then you synchro away, and then you have like all sorts of negates, combos, things of that nature, guys. It's a really crazy deck, I'm not gonna lie. It's really cool as well, guys. But now let's quickly get into the deck profile so you guys can see the exact numbers of what I'm playing. Alright, guys, now we're getting into the deck profile. It's gonna be a quick deck profile, right? If you guys have any comments, concerns, just comment down below, message me on Discord or Twitter or whatever. But starting off with the video, guys, we are playing triple Crystron Tristalos. I was stuck between 2 or 3 of this card. I didn't really know what I wanted to play. I think that 3 is really good because you want to see it in your opening hand, because if you can combo without kind of committing too many normal summons, your Tristalos gets even better. So again, and like I said before, when your opponent activates a card effect, special 1 Crystron monster, then immediately synchro summon, banish card from your graveyard, pop a synchro monster, and then if you do special summon 2 Crystron monsters with different names. So really good. This is probably one of the best cards in the deck, especially because there's unique like pre-nib lines, or like if you get nibbed, you can play around it using this card, and I'll explain it as I get onto the extra deck. But we are playing triple Tristalos. Speaking of 3-ofs, we are playing triple Sulfadhole as well. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, discard 1 Crystron card, special summon this card in defense position. The reason why this card is really good is because it can summon itself out from hand, so actually opening it's not bad, especially because we have so many cards in the graveyard. Like imagine we have Sulfadhole and we discard Smiger, right? That's crazy, but it's really good in that regard. Special summon this card out like that, then you can destroy 1 card on the field, so he'll always be replacing himself in a sense, because like even if it's just like a 1.5 combo with Sulfadhole, you'll pop, summon out, and then this card will trigger to summon out as well. So it's really good, especially because like we always want at least 1/5 in the rotation pre-combo, and the reason for that is then we can easily make a Nova and Infinity. But moving on, we have Smiger. Smiger's got a lot better, like I said before, especially with Clockwork Knight edition, the Link 1 monster right here, because it's easier to get him in the graveyard, and then he can go in and facilitate and start playing because he adds any Crystron spell trap card from deck your hand, and if you open like one of them, you just search the other, you know what I mean? But he's really good in that regard. And then we also have the Sulfadhole, so it says target 1 Crystron card you control, destroy it, and if you do special summon it, then on summon you dump any 2 Crystron cards, which is really crazy. This is another card that for some reason people are playing at 2. I don't really know why, because it's like one of the best cards in your deck, especially if like you open any of these normal summons that are like kind of like subpar. You just pop them, summon him, his effect, dump 2, and then you can keep on playing, and it works very well in that regard. Then we also have 2 Citri. I know this is like the weird one because some people only play 1. I feel like sometimes in my combos I did see myself not using my resources properly maybe, but I just felt like 2 Citri is really good because like you go through 1 during your turn, then 1 during your opponent's turn, and Citri is really important because you can summon 1 out from the graveyard to keep on playing during your opponent's turn. So I believe that like it's really important for the end board, so I feel like we need to play 2. And then again, like I said before, they'll have kind of the same thing where like you can go ahead and immediately activate synchro summon, and then they're just banished instead. Then we have the 1 this turn. This turn again is really good as well. Target 1 face-up card you control, special summon monsters, destroy that card, and if you do special summon 1 Crystron monster from your deck or tune it from your deck, and then if this card's in your graveyard, you can banish it. So like I was saying before, this is one of those weird cards where like it does not have 1,000 attack, so like I wish you could link it away, but if you have like Sulfadhole plus this turn, like you don't care because like all these cards are like in theory getting linked away for Sulfadhole, so it's really good. Then we also have the triple Terrortop and the 1 Tacky Tomborg, because like it's like just one of the best cards to open in your deck. You have like full combo in all sorts of different ways. And then speaking of which, the reason why I think that this deck is really good is like its engine is so strong, but also look at the non-engine play. We have triple Ash Blossom, triple Effect Veiler, triple Drop In. Like Drop In this deck is nasty. Like you guys can see like all these cards have like disgusting graveyard effects, so like Drop In send any of these cards is like absolutely cracked. We also have Inclusion, like I said before, it's like the main 1 card combo of the deck. Like you activate Inclusion and your plays are just like so crazy, so like you go crazy. Then you have triple Talents. Then we also have 1 Called By and 1 Foolish, because we're playing like a turbo combo deck. Like we don't want hand traps. Foolish Burials also works very well because we can like Foolish Smiger get Inclusion, right? So it's like other ways of doing it. Or you can like Foolish into Thistfern as an extender as well, or even Sulfadhole, so it's really good. Then we also have the 1 trap card. A really good trap card, easy to recur these cards, so like we don't need to play multiple of them. And then triple infinite impermanence. Like you guys can see, we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 non-engine, technically we gave 16 non-engine cards that we play in this deck. And that's like on top of our already layered disruptions, which is like the trap card, which is synchroing, things of that nature. Now, quickly before I get into the extra deck, guys, quickly before I get into the extra deck, these are like side deck options or tech choice you can play. So I have seen the OCG list playing title. I think it's cool, but I feel like this deck has enough consistency as is. And Terrortop like already does better kind of what title would do in theory. I have been seeing some decks playing Ryzel, playing Regulus because it's a machine monster. Works very well. I just like in my testing, I just felt like these one card combos for Regulus weren't better than Infinity, so that's why I decided to kind of just like stray away from it. But you guys can play it. There's also like the whole Scrap Recycler Rosenix thing that people were doing previously, so you can do that as well. I don't think Rosenix is bad per se. I just don't know if there's like a line where it's like good enough to do it. But I mean, if you guys see it, just like let me know. Then there's like the whole Axel Synchron, Stardust Excel Dragon, go into Stardust, and then we can go into Satellite Warrior as well, which is like popping more, which is kind of like, this card's really good because if you're a sync summon, target cards your opponent controls up to the number of synchro monsters in your graveyard. So like later on down the line, you guys can see we have all sorts of synchro monsters. Satellite Warrior gets like crazy, but I mean, you already played the level 9 Quandra Chroma, whatever this guy's name is, so it's really good. Then another card I see OCG playing a lot is Navy Dragon Mech. If the card special summon, target face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of tuners in your graveyard. Negate their effects until the end of this turn. If the single summon card is destroyed by battle or card effect, or sorry, just card effect and sent to graveyard, target one tuner monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So those are just like the tech cards. I feel like because it's a combo deck and it's really good, you guys can kind of pick and choose what you guys want to go with. But moving on to the extra, guys, we have the One Clockwork Knight. This card enables a lot of one card combos. It's really good. Like, it's crazy how like such a stupid card can be really good in this deck, especially like a Link one, right? Cherubini works very well with the Terrortop. SP Little Knight, just like if you go second, and just in general, like this card's really good. We have the one Nova and the one Infinity, followed by the one Star Slayer Typhon. I think combo decks that can like have space for like SP and Typhon are really good. Then we have the one Quandax. Quandax says basically during your opponent's main or battle phase, synchro summon using one material as this card. If this card is synchro summoned and it's destroyed a battle or a card effect, target one Crystron monster in your graveyard, except itself, and special summon it. I just put Quandax in as like a filler card, honestly. There's like not really like a lot of times where you can make this card because like you don't really have like non-tuner level 2s. It's just like another option that you guys can play like a filler spot. If you guys want to play like Axel or Stardust or things of that nature, by all means you guys can play it. Then we also have the one Chanbara. Chanbara is like a crazy card, right? It can attack twice, and every time it attacks it gains 200 attack, and then it just like helps you OTK going second. So again, it's just like another nasty way of kind of like breaking your board and then just attacking for game. Then we have the double Dawn Dragster, and trust me when I say like majority of the times you will be making 2 Dawn Dragster. We have the double Aliskeletes. I think this card, like, you can technically cut, but I mean, on the bounce back, like, it's a really good card, because like you can use it, then recur any of your graveyard cards, so it's really good. Then we have the one Samurai Destroyer. So not only is this card good because it stops like cards activating in the damage step, it's also really good because if you have a Tristalos and your opponent goes to nib you, you can change Tristalos to summon a 5 and then sync away into Samurai Destroyer. Then the nib will resolve, and this card says this: if this face-up card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can target one machine monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Meaning that like if you use this, summon out, synchro to Samurai Destroyer, you get nibbed. Samurai Destroyer will trigger on a separate chain to summon out any machine type monster, and then keep on playing and climbing your line. So it's really good. Then we have the double Crarion Kondrax, whatever, where it says on summon you banish 3 cards for its material, and like the way you summon is like 2 or more monsters. But yeah, so that's kind of it for the combo, the deck portion of it, you know what I mean? I think that this deck is really good. I think it's a combo deck that has all sorts of nasty lines. Like you can also play cards like this where like Phoenix is, if this card is synchro summoned, you can banish all spell and trap cards your opponent controls and in their graveyard. So if you're like playing against like some sort of backer deck, things of that nature, you can play it. You guys can see like there's all sorts of other cards like that Crystron has in its way as well. So Crystron Impact as well is another good card. So I think that like depending on how you deck build and depending on how you play this deck, you can get rewarded tremendously. It kind of reminds me of Ritual Beast, where like there's a lot of other combos that you guys can do, but if you know them well, you get rewarded. It's just a very difficult deck to play. But again, guys, that's it for my kind of combo tutorial plus deck file. If you guys liked the video, leave a like, comment what you guys want to see next, and subscribe if you have not already. Like I said before, guys, 2025 is my year. My name's Hamza, like I always say. Keep on shining, never gonna dreams. Peace.